Hello, peoples. My name is ALBE, and welcome back to another episode of World of Warships. This time, I'm not gonna record it live. There's no, I'm not currently playing this game. This is a replay using the feature built into World of Warships. And I had this match last night, and let me tell you, it was fun. I love this ship. The Gneisenau never gets old, in my opinion. This ship is just... yeah, it only has 6 guns. Yeah, they're low caliber for a battleship. Yeah, the dispersion is highly questionable. But it's tough. Very tough. Very well armored, and angles are really good. The thing is faster than some cruisers. Now on this one I'm running the speed flag. It make me go just a little bit faster, and I absolutely love playing aggressively in this ship. Now, the beginning of this match isn't going to be anything super spectacular. In fact, I don't play super aggressively at the start, but, spoiler alert, there's a cyclone that hits. And let me tell you, the Gneisenau loves cyclones. And one drawback of this ship is it's not quite at tier 8. It's tier 7, so it doesn't get that battleship hydroacoustic search, which admittedly is not anything impressive for as far as hydroacoustic search goes, but it's on a battleship, so it makes all the difference. Now this one gets just the spotter plane, and that's about it. Now, the one thing it does get is torpedoes, which is interesting for a battleship, and sometimes... just sometimes, I mean, more so when they first introduced the German battleship line, but sometimes people forget that it has torpedoes. And, now, I'm pushing up here, and I don't know how many ships the enemy has pushing up, so I get spotted by a destroyer or something that's hidden that I can't see, so, since I don't know what they have yet, I'm pulling back. I'm not gonna advance and get slapped in the face. But then I realized that there's one of our destroyers is up there, so he would be in a position to spot any heavy artillery, any ships that would punish me for going broadside on here. So because I know that there's nothing up there, I start pushing in, and the Cleveland is not a threat to me unless he wants to ram me at close range because he doesn't have torpedoes. So I'm going to push up here because doesn't seem to be a lot of enemies here. Now, I'm running what I like to call an aggressive build on my captain and on the ship. I have the secondary module, I have advanced firing training, I have like the module that, you know, increases the accuracy and range of the secondaries, but I don't have manual secondaries because I want both my secondaries on both sides firing, but I haven't experienced anything I haven't experienced anything bad as far as not using manual secondaries. But yeah, this Cleveland right here, he's making a mistake. Now, he got pushed out. The Nuremberg pushed him out there. I don't know why he didn't try to verse the Nuremberg. I mean, I think the Nuremberg has torpedoes, so he doesn't want to get torpedoed. But, alas, the Cleveland, it's a good ship. One thing it doesn't have is very good. It doesn't have torpedoes, so it couldn't verse the Nuremberg. Now, I was gonna make a hard left here because I wanted to cut inside of the map, but the friendly torpedoes counter that. No, it's one thing that's not friendly in this game, it's the torpedoes. No torpedoes friendly. I think they reduce the damage that friendly torpedoes do to your allies, but it still hurts. Anyway, there's a Belfast over here. I only have one gun turret available, and because the dispersion kind of sucks, there's nothing that's really going to come out of that. And it's a British cruiser, so it accelerated probably before those shells even got there, if they even remotely landed next to it. But there's a cruiser and a battleship over here. I want to see if I can spot them with my spotter plane, so I can maybe help the Sims out. And I can't really get good spots on him because he's going in and out. Because there's the destroyer over here as a smoke screen. Now, if I was in a tier 8 battleship like the Bismarck or something that had a hydro, I would push that smoke screen. But because I don't, I'm just gonna send a volley towards this New York and then get out of here because I don't want whoever's in that smoke to spot me. Now, I did spot. I don't know what it was. I did spot something. Now, Nuremberg got deleted by the New York, but there was a destroyer over there. I don't know what it was, so I'm not going to take a chance. Now, there's a Leander over here that... It's hard to Citadel a Leander, but we'll try to see what happens. Broadside pretty much giving us the best we can hope for, but because of that, look at that dispersion. It's crap. And, of course, one hit and it over-penetrates because it's a British cruiser. That low Citadel makes it really hard. Starting with the Leander, actually, it's a low Citadel. The ship before that, the Citadel's above the waterline, and it's pretty easy to Citadel. But the Leander, it's hard to Citadel just because of that low waterline, or the low Citadel below the waterline. Now, what I'm trying to do here is I'm just going to make a U-turn and start cutting into the center of the map. Because that is where the action's starting. Now we have a minute till the cyclone hits. So I really want to see if I can finish off that New York and get into the middle of the map to put pressure on everyone else. Decent hits against New York. The New York is a very... It's squishy. And it's not squishy because it doesn't have a good armor. It's just squishy because of the armor layout. Its belt armor is thick enough to activate the fuses, but not shatter the shells. Even on these small 380mm guns, well, relatively small. I think these are 380mm. I'm not sure. You think they would be much more accurate because of the long barrels. Look at those things. But I guess they're just not. I guess. Let's see if we can't get some more effective shots into this New York. He looks like he's burning pretty steadily. Yeah, he's dead. I don't need to something to smoke sending torpedoes into Leander, but he's really fast. Speaking of Leander, or the Shores, sorry. But speaking of squishy cruisers, that guy just took a big hit. And he's dead just as I can get my shots off. Oh well. I figured, like, better, you know, kill him before he starts repairing himself. So I sent the shot out, and then he's died immediately. That's fine, though. There's a lot of battleships over there, so I kind of want to... I don't want to just rush in full speed, because this thing, because of how fast it is, you really have to make sure, you know, rush in some that you can't get yourself out of. Now, that dispersion kind of makes most of my shells go off target, but 2 of them penetrate for 7,000 damage. That's for as many shots, or as many guns as I can get on that Fuso. That's pretty much the best I could have hoped for. Now, I was hoping that Belfast would push him around. If he did, my secondaries would light him up, and I would get some good shots on him, but he's smarter than that, so he didn't. Now, the Colorado, it looks to be... He's not really at a good angle, but there's not really anything else we can shoot at, so might as well send a couple shots his way. And we hit the mountain instead. We sure showed that mountain. Waited too long. No big deal, though. Now, Cyclone range is, or Cyclone's making our range get even lower, so I'm using that to my advantage because now the only person that can actually spot me is this Fuso. Even if he spots me, is the enemy team, if they were to shoot me, would have to fire blind because they can't see me. This Fuso is the only person spotting me, the only one that can actually shoot me. Now, I got kind of got screwed by the dispersion there, point blank range, but it's not the end of the world. Now, this Fuso's no one's fool. He knows it's stupid to rush a Gneisenau because of the torpedoes. I can easily end him with 3 torpedo hits, 2 of those broadside. So, speaking of broadside, he knows not to show it. So this is not his first rodeo with the Fuso. It's not a really strong ship from the side, but the broadside that thing can put out with its guns is pretty ferocious. Secondary is lighting him up at a range of 8 kilometers, gets out of that range, but they set him on fire. But looks yeah, he didn't put it out yet. He's still burning, so he's not he's no one's full. Even though if I were him, I would probably put it out if I was gonna disengage, because he's not gonna get spotted by anyone. So he's pretty safe to put it out, but that's fine. No mistake if he doesn't. Now, if he was gonna push in and still engage, then yeah, don't put it out. But now I'm pushing around here because I think the rest of the enemy team is gonna be going towards our flag. Now there's a York over here. York has torpedoes. He's probably trying to get torpedoes away. So I'm going to try to accelerate to throw his aim off, but I don't know, when he's really going to launch him. Now there's a Cleveland over there. If I get set on fire, it's not really a big deal. Secondary is going off on both sides. I love this. Now, I do take a torpedo hit here, but it's not really a big deal. I have the health pool to spare. I saved my health for the late game. Now I do just take another hit from the Nuremberg's torpedoes, which I didn't spot till like right at the last minute. But it's no big deal. Like I said, we saved our health for the late game. Colorado pushing up. Maybe someone really good plunging fire from the light deck armor, so penetrated that for some nice damage. Now I'm kind of ignoring the ship to my right because my secondaries are pretty much forcing him to disengage. Now, I don't know if the Colorado didn't get the memo or whatever, but I think he just now remembered that the Gneisenau has torpedoes because he started turning in, but then he just stopped turning in. The Colorado's turning circle is actually not bad at all, but he seemed to have forgotten that we had torpedoes, so we quickly went and reminded him for a second. Now, nothing over there really. Nothing over there anymore. The Fuso's over there trying to engage us, but he's just out of our spawning range. Now, this Cleveland is in some pretty in for a hurting. He's on full health, and he's trying to beat our speed around this island. Now, unfortunately, 3 over penetrations to the broadside of a Cleveland. I don't know how that happened with smaller guns. And the Cleveland actually has decent armor. Not more over penetrations than the Confederate metal, which is always nice. Our secondary is really working them over. Each of those having a decent fire chance every time they hit. A high rate of fire on those turrets is really helping us pressure him. He's firing. I don't know why he's firing armor piercing at us, but he is. So now there's a Belfast over there. Our secondary is going to give him something to worry about from that side. Lighting him up again, and I really want to kind of force this I want to pressure this Belfast, so I'm just going to launch some torpedoes at the Cleveland and ignore him and leave our, I think our Colorado that is back there to deal with them. So I really have to deal with this Belfast. The Belfast is something you don't want to ignore. Now, I don't really expect those torpedoes, anything special to happen with those torpedoes, but looks like he's going to eat that one. Rudder shift time, the Cleveland, not the best. So he's definitely going to eat one of those torpedoes. There's the hit. Now he diverted his damage control, so there's the kill. Did a pretty good amount of damage this game in the aggressive build, but that Belfast is successfully disengaged, and we're still spotted, which means there's a destroyer in the cap because they're also still capping. And sure enough, there's the torpedoes from whatever's in the cap. Now, the skinny ship, being as skinny as it is, we were able to dodge torpedoes. If that one didn't run out of steam, we would have still dodged it. If it hit our bow, we damage saturated in the bow, so we probably wouldn't have taken much damage from it. But we don't have to worry about it because they ran out of range anyway. Now, since the spotting range is 8 kilometers, anything we shoot at is going to be within our secondary range. But we don't really need to worry about that because we Citadel'd him for the one and only Citadel of the entire game. Someone's not really happy in chat. But there's a destroyer over here. Once again, really suffering from not having the hydroacoustic search. Would have easily been able to spot and kill this guy with my secondaries. Now I want to get him out of the smoke screen, so I launch a wide spreader torpedo. So just to worry him, just to force him out of the smoke screen. Hopefully he. I mean, if we hit him with one, great. But if we don't, we'll just force him out so we can see him. And honestly, he's such a close range. Our secondaries could finish him off, even if we don't somehow kill him with our main. But there he is. Our good traverse speed means we can get our guns on target, fire at him, and bam. One destroyer blown to smithereens. Now, here are the score screens. I did pretty well. The reason it's the score screen from WoW's replay is because I accidentally deleted them, and for some reason when I went to go get them from the replay they weren't there. But this is the score screen, 130,500 damage, and here's my top of the team, or place in the team, 4 kills. Enemy team did pretty well too, but that's gonna be all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be back.